Hi, everyone. My name is Doug Fish. I'm the Residency Program Director for the PGY2 Infectious Diseases Residency at the University of Colorado. I appreciate you taking a look at this video, and I sincerely appreciate your interest in our program. I have been the Residency Program Director for about 14 years. I was also the RPD for the PGY2 Critical Care Residency Program and did that for 22 years, just giving that up a couple of years ago and turning that over to one of our other faculty members. I am a full-time faculty at the University of Colorado Skaggs School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. I've been at the school for 28 years. Originally, I'm from California. I was born and raised in the Santa Barbara area on the Central Coast part of California. I did my pre-pharmacy work at UCLA, and then I went and did my pharmacy degree at University of California at San Francisco. After finishing that degree, I decided I need to get out of California for a while. So I went and did my first residency at Duke University Medical Center in North Carolina. And while at Duke, I became interested in a career in academia and went to the University of Illinois in Chicago to get some research experience. I did my fellowship at U of I. Again, my fellowship was in infectious diseases with a healthy dose of critical care thrown in. So when I took the position at the University of Colorado after completing the fellowship, it was an infectious disease position, but they actually asked me if I would round in the ICUs and take on the critical care sites as my primary rounding area within the hospital. So for well over 20 years, I rounded every day in the medical intensive care unit, but was still highly involved in research and teaching related to infectious diseases, and was also very involved in the ID consult services, as well as the stewardship program and the pharmacy and therapeutics committee at the hospital. I'm now the department chair and the chair of the Department of Clinical Pharmacy at the University of Colorado at the School of Pharmacy. And that being the case, I would do a lot of administrative work, and I have turned over a lot of the clinical precepting responsibilities to some of our very qualified and highly skilled clinical practitioners at the hospital that provide a lot of the day-to-day clinical precepting of the PGY2 resident. Just wanted to give you a quick overview of our program so you'll know what to expect. The University of Colorado's PGY2 program is housed at the University of Colorado Hospital. UCH is approximately 700 beds. It encompasses a large academic medical teaching center, tertiary care center, which involves not only the 700-bed inpatient hospital, but also a large group of outpatient clinics as well. From an infectious disease standpoint, we have a very diverse population and a very interesting and challenging population. So within the hospital, we have approximately 120 adult intensive care unit beds and a number of different critical care units. We also have a very large oncology and hematology population. We do any number of transplants. So we have very active solid organ transplants as well as hematologic transplants, bone marrow transplants. So in each given year, we do approximately 50 heart transplants, approximately 70 to 80 lung transplants, and approximately 100 liver transplants, in addition to a very large number of kidney pancreas transplants. So from an infectious disease standpoint, we see a very diverse group of patients that have a very challenging number of infections that the resident gains experience with. So we don't do any pediatrics. It is entirely an adult population. But again, within that adult population, it's a very challenging group of patients that you'll get experience across the wide breadth of different types of infections and different disease states. If you are looking for pediatric experience, we have a close affiliation with Children's Hospital of Colorado, which is actually located on the very same campus where the University of Colorado Hospital is located. Children's Hospital of Colorado is one of the largest and best children's hospitals in the country. And they have a very active stewardship program, as well as a couple of dedicated infectious disease pharmacists that provide excellent experiences in pediatric infectious disease for PGY2 residents who are looking for that experience. Within the hospital, within the program, I should say, we have a number of required rotations that all of our PGY2 residents do. The required rotations include general infectious disease consult services, where we have the residents spend 2 months, usually the first month of the program, right after the introduction and training period, is in the general infectious disease consult service. So the resident can expect to do 1 month of ID consult right at the very beginning of the year, and then another month at the very end of the year, where that is their chance to come in at the end of the year, show us everything they've learned, and pretty much run the service by themselves. That's your opportunity to shine. Show us what you can do at the end of the PGY2 year. We also require 2 months of transplant infectious diseases, and this is specifically an immunocompromised host service that deals very extensively with the solid organ transplant population, the hematologic malignancy and bone marrow transplant population, as well as other types of immunocompromised hosts that are encountered within the hospital. So you'll spend 2 months with that service in addition to the 2 months with the infectious disease general consult service. Again, 1 month of transplant IDs, usually toward the beginning of the year, and then the second month is toward the end of the year. We require 2 months in our outpatient infectious disease clinic, which we call the IDGP, or the infectious disease group practice clinics. This is our outpatient infectious disease clinic at the hospital. And again, you'll see a wide variety, quite diverse patient population within that clinic. But as you can probably guess, a lot of that clinic is devoted to the care of patients living with HIV infection. And we also have a very active hepatology service that has a dedicated pharmacist conducting hepatitis C clinics and patient visits. So within those 2 months in the outpatient clinic, one of those months is mostly devoted to HIV care. The other month is mostly devoted to hepatitis C, but there's a healthy cross-pollination of different types of infections. So it's not purely HIV or purely hepatitis C during those months. Also, as part of the required elements of the PGY2 program is a longitudinal experience in the IDGP clinics. And this is with a dedicated fellows clinic where the infectious disease physician fellows at the hospital are seeing and managing their own patients and rely on the PGY2 resident to provide clinical pharmacy support for them. That's usually every Tuesday afternoon for several hours. And again, that's an opportunity for the residents to work fairly autonomously and work very closely with the ID fellows at the clinic, as well as with some of the other ID attendings. In addition to the rotations already mentioned, we do require a rotation in the hematology bone marrow transplant unit with Jeff Kaiser, who's one of our very well qualified and very experienced preceptors in hematology and bone marrow transplant. And we also require an experience with our orthopedic ID service, which is kind of a unique service that not a lot of hospitals have. But this service deals a lot with orthopedic infections, specifically related to prosthetic joint infections and some of the very challenging infections, both acute and chronic, that are seen within that population. You'll also interface pretty closely during the ortho ID month and also during the clinic months with our OPAT, our outpatient parenteral antimicrobial therapy service through the hospital, which is also a very busy service. For electives, you can choose to do pediatric infectious disease. We have other consult services available at some of the affiliated hospitals. So one of the more popular elective rotations is with Denver Health Medical Center, which is another large academic medical center located in downtown Denver that sees more of an indigent care and underserved population, but also has a very robust and very well-respected antimicrobial stewardship program, as well as inpatient consult services. We have an affiliation with St. Joseph's Hospital, also in Denver, that has an adult cystic fibrosis service that some of our residents have chosen to spend elective time with. And whatever you're looking for, if we can't provide it at the University of Colorado Hospital, then we can certainly make arrangements to provide the experience that you want within one of our affiliated partners. One of the main things that we stress in our program is flexibility. So again, we really want to tailor the program to be what you're looking for within PGY2 experience. We do have our required rotations, but certainly if you want to do more months of inpatient consult service or additional months in the HIV clinic, or whatever it is that we can do to try to tailor that program to meet your individual needs, then we will certainly try to do that within the boundaries of accreditation requirements and the required learning goals and objectives for the program. Within the program, because of the affiliation with the School of Pharmacy and because I'm a full-time faculty member, there are plenty of opportunities available for teaching. So if you're looking for good academic experience with opportunities to teach and precept students, we can definitely provide that. All of our residents become very highly involved in precepting of PharmD students, either with their introductory or their advanced pharmacy practice experiences. And there are also opportunities for precepting PGY1 residents, as well as potentially PGY2s from other programs within the infectious diseases services. In addition to the student and resident precepting, there are a lot of opportunities for teaching within the School of Pharmacy. So there are opportunities to help with a lot of the assessments that we're doing as part of our active learning curriculum, but then also doing formal didactic lecturing within the classrooms to either second or third year pharmacy students. We do have a healthy variety of research projects that are available for residents. We have, again, the affiliation with the School of Pharmacy, where we have a lab that can support pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic research projects. And we have great collaborations with a lot of physicians working in a lot of different areas of the hospital, as well as with the other pharmacy staff. So we can provide a lot of opportunities within the research area, really developing a project that's along the lines of what you may be interested in. I love pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics within immunocompromised patients. That's what I get excited about. For other people or for PGY2 residents, maybe not so much in that particular area, but whether it's in transplantation, general ID consult services, outpatient clinics related to the HIV or other outpatient populations. Again, we're very flexible with our research opportunities. And we do present a list of projects to the PGY2 resident at the beginning of the year, some things that we would suggest as being good projects. And then you have a smorgasbord of options that you can choose from to determine which projects may be of most interest to you. And if none of those projects are of interest to you, then we'll work with you to develop something that is. So again, a lot of flexibility related to the research project. The program does offer a teaching certificate program for residents who may not have already completed a teaching certificate as part of the PGY1 experience. And we also have a research certificate program that we call the Aspire program, where residents get a structured introduction and a structured approach to conducting research in terms of how to develop research questions and hypotheses, how to think about basic biostatistics, how to put together abstracts and manuscripts. It's tailored mostly for PGY1 residents, but is very helpful for PGY2 candidates, or I should say PGY2 residents as well, because again, it's a structured approach where you have guidance from not only myself and the other preceptors within the infectious disease program, but potentially from other content and research experts as well. So that is a background on the PGY2 program. There's more information available on our website that you can read about benefits, lists of preceptors, and other information. I am, again, very excited that you're interested in our PGY2 infectious disease program and look forward to your application if this is a program that you think may meet the needs of your career goals and what you're looking for within a PGY2 program. The year goes very quickly. At the end of the year, our goal is that you can walk out of this program and walk into any infectious diseases position that may be of interest to you, whether it's in a large academic medical center, a smaller community hospital, whether it's in an academic position or a non-academic position. We again try to tailor the residency program to meet your needs and provide the range of experiences that you're looking for, including teaching and research and other opportunities, to really make sure that the program meets your needs and that you're ready to hit the ground running at the end of that year. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that University of Colorado Hospital, as you can probably guess, also has a very robust antimicrobial stewardship program, which is a longitudinal thread throughout everything that you'll do within that hospital. So again, all of your rotations will include some element of antimicrobial stewardship. There is a very active antimicrobial stewardship committee within the hospital that you would be an active part of. And it's something that all of our residents are very well versed in throughout the range of the one-year program. So again, that's a brief overview of our program. I'm excited to be the residency program director for this program. I think it's awesome. We have a great group of preceptors and a great range of opportunities available for you. And I'm glad that you're interested in this program. I look forward to hearing from you with your specific interests and potentially talking to you in person in a more formalized interviewing format. Thank you very much.